All right, so now we're going to talk about pollinators, and you have a table in your lab manual that you're going to fill out. It's not the name that pollinator, it's the one right before it where you're designing the perfect flower for a pollinator. And the manual explains what different pollinators are generally attracted to, but I'm going to show you some of the pictures that would have been in the lab. So the first one are fly-pollinated flowers. They're generally stinky. Sometimes they're purplish or brownish. They remember that flies are carrion and are going to be going for bad smells, rotting meat or poop, and so they're actually very stinky. The next one is bat pollinated, and bats are nocturnal, so some of those flowers would be fragrant and often tubular. They can get in there to get the nectar, sometimes white because it is nocturnal, so that is a better color, or not color, or light for them to see. All right, the next one is going to be for the birds, and those are red tubulars. So something like a hummingbird is very attracted to red tubular. It can stick its beak in there to get the nectar and gets the pollen on its head, and then transfers to the pollen to the next flower. So you're going to think for tubular reds, it could either be birds or it could be butterflies. Actually, let's go to that one. So the butterflies, they do like tubular as well, and they have a long proboscis that uncoils that they can get inside to get the nectar, and then they'll get dusted with pollen as well. But they like different colors, so sometimes you'll see them on purples and blues and pinks. So a lot of flowers, it could be different types of pollinators, but when we're walking outside, we'll try to find some pollinators or some plants that we know are pollinated by specific pollinators. All right, the next one, let's do that one, is going to be our moth-pollinated flowers. And again, moths are nocturnal, just like the bats. So you're going to think nocturnal is more for sweet scents, and white is more distinct for them. So maybe the smaller whites. This image is showing a particular type of moth that has a really long proboscis and does like a very large white flower, but in general, those small white flowers are going to be moth pollinated. Next, we're going to go to our rodent pollinator picture. And if you see, oh, sorry, I've got it the wrong way. If you see a flower at the base of a plant, it's generally going to be rodent pollinator, or maybe even reptile pollinator, because they're going to be able to get there a little bit easier. And this is a protease, I think. Super cool flower from Africa. Next, we're going to go to beetles. Beetles are very messy eaters, and they like white flowers and big petals. They also like other colors, so magnolias and calla lilies are good ones for beetles. And then we also wanted to remind you that grass are flowers. So you don't always see the flower portion, but anything grass is an angiosperm, and those are monocots. So we already went over the difference between monocots and dicots, and when we're outside, we'll point out some monocots and dicots as well. All right.